So, welcome everyone to yet another episode of the People, Passion, and Purpose podcast. I think this is episode number 62. And I have with me a very nice friend of mine. I think this is the second time we are catching up on Zoom. First time I was on her show. And I think after a year, the reciprocal is happening. And it was a random, I think, message I saw on LinkedIn saying, hey, there's a possibility for an audio event for 15 minutes. Just jump on board and just talk about any random act of kindness that you've seen, you've been a part of, you've been a recipient of. And that's how I met Andrea Sanchez here. She does wonderful spaces in terms of bringing people together. She does a fantastic job of that. And she runs something called the Rally for Hope project, which I will be asking more about her. She lives in the US. So thank you, Andrea. Thank you for joining us. And, like I said before, if I were to give the space of introduction saying, how would you want yourself to be introduced? How would you do that?
First, thank you, Sunil, for having me on. It's a true honor, and I'm a big fan of yours and what you represent and what you're doing in this space. I'm Andrea. I'm a imperfectly um, in progress human, which has a lot of passions. My background is in communications, but I'm also very passionate about creating safe spaces where people can feel like they can become truly themselves or give them the courage to be themselves. I'm a huge animal lover, and I believe that every single day you wake up and you have a choice to create the mindset that you want to make an impact. Um, that's what I'm all about. I love seeing people's eyes light up when they discover something about themselves or see the potential in them that they hadn't seen before. I'm there to remind them that they are perfectly imperfect the way they are, as we are born into this world for a reason and in a specific way because those are our unique gifts.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that that spark of joy, happiness, when people share about themselves, they talk about, say, things in their life that's given them joy. Um, I think that that spark is something that cannot be put in words, that cannot be replaced by anything. I think that's a true gift of the universe.
I agree. I
Mm.
agree so much.
So, I think the first question, is how did this 15 minutes of kindness space start off? I know you'd have maybe told it many times, but maybe once more, it'll also make my eyes sparkle.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you in that space. The 15 minutes of kindness was mainly just an effort to be a spark in someone's day or someone's evening for just 15 minutes to remind them that despite our busy world, our busy days, our busy nights, there is time to reflect, to show gratitude, especially to those moments, to those situations, to those people, to those companies that have given us an extra reason to smile during the day. I feel like we live in such a world full of noise. Sometimes we get so lost in the noise that I felt like we need to make, myself included, give ourselves some space to really be grateful for the things that keep us going.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think, the people do a gratitude list every day saying, hey, this is what I'm grateful for. And I found a lot of joy in listening to people come on, share their space of finding something around kindness. And I think I love that space. And thank you for doing something like this. I just want to use this space for sharing that. And the idea
Thank you.
here, Andrea, is especially with this series, with women being our center focus, is that the more stories that women share may not be always about the achievements, the things that they're very passionate about. The normal, simple, mundane stories themselves also have the power of inspiring others. And in a way that if, say, Andrea can share, then so can I. And I also have stories to share. And that's the idea behind this creation of this series. And when you hear this, what are your thoughts on that?
When I hear what you just said,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm it feels really great. It feels really good. It solidifies why I need to keep doing it. If I can affect positive change or a positive mindset or give others the courage to share, I mean, just one person alone, then I've done my job because it takes just one person to start something. It takes just one person to listen to your words, um, and that it could change an entire life, an entire movement, an entire world. So thank you so much. That means the world to me.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I think I completely get it in terms of one person, even if it touches one person, even if it sparks one person, our job is way more, satisfying and fulfilling. So you've touched a lot of lives through the Rally for Hope movement, the 15 Minutes of Kindness, and I'm sure there are many. And then the people that you are connected to, be it Tim, be it Nupi, so and then at least the ones that I know of, there are I think many many more people. So how's this entire experience been, and what's your learning? And maybe even you can start off with the Rally for Hope project.
This experience has been, I have no words to describe this experience because I never 5 years ago would think that I would start a movement on kindness. Actually, this all started to take place in 2020 when the pandemic, COVID-19, had just started, and there was a lot of racial unrest, specifically, I mean, around the world, but specifically also in the United States at that time. So much negativity, so much stress, so much tension. I kept seeing on the television just rallies, but people destroying things and being negative. So I'm like, I feel like I need to do something. At the very least, let me do a rally that's all centered around positivity instead and to give others courage and hope during these times. So that was, I mean, believe it or not, that idea came to me in a dream.
Mm-hmm.
The date, June 27th, came to me. That was the date that I had my first rally, which happened to be on a Saturday, June 27th, 2020. And I just invited 5 people, which I knew were positive, were wanting to make an impact in the world, etc., to just change, send messages of hope and kindness and love. Little did I know that that would grow into them sharing their own stories of overcoming adversity, of not giving up during times that are tough, of beating the odds. And with that, I saw that the people that attended were having the courage to speak up themselves. After that rally, I had so many people come up and say, because of so and so that spoke up, I feel like I have a renewed sense of hope. I feel like I can share my story. When is your next rally? Because I'd like to share my story. So I thought it was going to be a one-time thing. So at the last Saturday of every month, I've held these worthy rallies for hope and kindness. I've taken a break the last couple of months, but I plan to restart them. So it's been incredible. I've met such an amazing network of people, including yourself, Sunil, that have come in and shared their stories and have impacted others, and just starting that ripple effect of just spreading positivity in the world. And then that led me to 15 minutes of kindness, which led me to eventually wanting to do other things like shows on live shows on LinkedIn and so forth. So it's been amazing.
Wow. I think it pretty much was a required space in terms of the pandemic, the stories of positivity, the stories of people, the resilience and all that. When I first saw this, my first thoughts was, why didn't this idea come to me first? Yeah.
Thank
And I think it's fantastic. Sometimes also
you.
it's that people come to you in your life in that space, the right moment, the right space, And somewhere it feels like it was meant to be that paths cross, and sometimes even the people who shared something to you may not even know how important that was for you.
Exactly.
It completely shifts. And whenever I see your post, I think definitely it brings a smile on my face, saying, "Oh, that's something that Andrea is doing newly." And I'm very very happy to share space with you, ask your stories. But I saw on your LinkedIn that you're originally from Argentina. So what happened?
Yes.
How was this space from Argentina to the US?
Yeah, I moved to the United States when I was 4 years old. My father worked in the oil business, so we moved a lot when I was a child. A lot of places in the United States, but I also lived in Venezuela, and I also lived in Azerbaijan for about a year.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm back in Houston, Texas now, and mainly done all my school here in the United States, but I do speak Spanish as well. So my family is all from there.
Wow. So you've grown up in America right from a very young.
Correct.
I
Right.
don't know any idea of how an American childhood is. So we've all heard of the American dream, but how is an American childhood?
How's an American dream?
Childhood? No, no. We've heard of the dreams.
Oh, American childhood? I
Yes.
had a good childhood. I got a good childhood. I can't remember. What do you mean? Like, I mean, lots of playing outside, lots of time to be curious and creative. I just remember always just playing, thinking of things that I could create, whether in my mind or stories or plays or um, things that, yeah, I just feel like my childhood was really fun.
Well, that's fantastic. Any experience or any anecdote that you would like to share about, your uh, naughtiness growing up, your anecdotes that, maybe in school, college, at home with friends, cousins,
Anecdotes that are that in what sense? Like that
any
this
any
that
any any story that, when you think of your childhood, the first story that comes to you.
so the first story that comes to me, I guess it's more of a lesson. Um, when I was in college, I majored in communications and then I had a minor, a secondary degree in music and in French.
Mm,
Um, Music, I played the piano for many, many years, and I continued to play it in the university. And I remember that although I enjoyed playing the piano, I enjoyed music, I enjoyed it just how it made me feel to hear the music. I didn't necessarily enjoy playing in front of people. In fact, that made me very anxious that I would freeze up, and that would never, ever happen to me with anything else. So I remember vividly there was a night where there was a concert in front of all the university, and I had to play the piano. I got such a huge panic attack that I had to call in that I was sick like
mm,
an hour before, even though my name was officially in the program. And it was very embarrassing at that point because I had family coming and I felt very weak. But at the end of the day, I the reason that I liked music was completely different than what others expected me to do with my love of music.
mm,
I love music because I wanted to enjoy it. It was like a way to just energize me, to put me in a place of peace, put me in a place of happiness. But others wanted me to use my love of music to play it for others. And that was not felt like that was my gift. So when I guess the lesson was be true to who you're supposed to be. I was so focused on letting others down that I went and had a degree in music, which
mm,
usually I didn't really want a degree. I just wanted to do it for myself. So others tried to put me in a box of what they wanted me to be because they saw me in a certain way. So my lesson was always, always, always trust your heart because your heart is always right. And don't try to be someone that you are not because the
Mm,
end of the day, you will appear in front of others as someone that is not authentically you. If I would have appeared in that concert, I would have been a disaster. So, and I would have not liked music anymore. So don't let your passions die for the wrong reason.
absolutely, I think. And then, yeah, I think one of the things that very easy to hear when you are sharing is the authenticity that you embody and you bring to the conversation to the table. And if you're not authentic, I know how it feels. You
Yeah,
that entirety of who you are, show up as is as much an imposter as anything else. Yeah, absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah. So I think for me, in terms of childhood, one of the first things that comes to me is a lot of playing.
Yeah,
Was that also the case with you? Like in terms of playing, how is it? Because the
so
only
much.
exposure is how we see it in the movies, and I'm sure it's not how it is like we see it in the movies.
Always a lot of play. What do you see in the movies as far as America?
Now, I think there are roads that are fully like open and kids are playing on the road, and there are
Oh
like
no. No, I've never played on the road. No, my parents would have a heart attack. No, no. I
yeah.
mean, we would ride our bicycles on the road,
Mhm.
like on the sidewalk, but we would play outside a lot, but in each other's yards and backyards, and sometimes we have like swings, or sometimes we have trees and tree houses, and um, we yeah, we played with the balls and what's called kickball and hide
Mhm.
and seek and all those games that kids play, right? But out playing outside was a big part of childhood.
Wow, that's the most beautiful part of childhood.
Yeah,
And currently, I think a lot of the kids, at least I see in my place, they don't really get to go and play outside. Be it the traffic, be it the heat, be it their
it's the best.
studies. There's so much of pressure on kids. Um, there's
This is,
that
I
space. Yeah,
agree. Agree, especially now. I mean, back then, there was no internet when I was a child. So, I mean, all we did, we were able to be more creative and play outside. But now everyone is so consumed with their technology. So it's very different.
absolutely. And I think we never had to really look at anything else to sort of keep our attention, something or the other, like observing what's happening in our backyard. I think that was equally a task in
Yeah,
itself. Like
exactly.
so,
Exactly.
what's happening? What trees are there? If there are young squirrels or whatever there. It's
Yeah.
just simple stuff. I could go on for hours, and you wouldn't feel like, oh, if we wasted our time. But I don't think that's the case now.
Yeah, unfortunately
Mm.
not. No, we often miss the beauty of life that's going on around us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think like somewhere I think last time we spoke, I spoke to you about kids and their interest around ants. I don't know if I've told that story to you, but like kids can. I knew of somebody who loved to track where the ant starts, like where do you see it on the house and where it goes. So it was a fascinating story.
Oh, wow.
Mm. And yeah, I think the podcast is about you. We will come back to you. So, yeah, any other stories that you would like to share in terms of anything? It may not be about childhood. Anything that you feel is a story that's worth being told.
I just remember as a child, I'm a huge animal lover. So as a child, my parents never really wanted to have a dog or anything like that because I mean, we moved a lot, so it made sense. But I was so, so desperate to have any kind of pet at all, anything that I could take care of. And I finally got, I think, yeah, when I lived in Venezuela, I finally got this tiny little turtle. which I don't
Mm.
remember what kind it is, but it's those that you need like a certain container with water, and it lives there, but it's
Mm.
tiny. It's like goes on the palm of your hand. And I was so in love with that turtle, and I would, give it water off of the sink, and I would see it swim. And it's just, so others might think, it's silly, but that was like my best friend. I was so enamored with just having anything that I could take care of that was what was my pet. Um, and eventually I was able to get a dog when I moved back to America, but it's just the overwhelming amount of, I mean, you remember in your life there are a certain amount of moments that you remember that just brought so much love and gratitude and happiness to you. And that was one of the moments when I got my first pet. There's nothing that can replace those feelings of really making one of your dreams come true, right? Because that was one of my dreams, is to get a pet.
Yeah, yeah. No, I can. Like, I'm not a pet aficionado, but I do understand, especially with turtles. I think that's a separate space altogether, and then it's more about that space of having a best friend, something to care about,
Yeah.
something that gives you, unbridled affection. There are no expectations, so that I do absolutely understand.
Yeah.
So yes. And any what are your hobbies? Hobbies, how do you spend time on a Sunday afternoon?
Well, this fits nicely with everything I discuss. So I spend time with my dogs. I have two dogs. Anytime I have with my dogs is I love it. Playing with them, taking them for walks, etc. I also love to listen to music, which fits nicely with the other story so anything, every time I feel like I'm getting like I need to relax, or I feel that I need to just remind myself of just, hey, Andrea, everything's going to be fine. Let's reset for a bit. I just listen to music, and really, I like all sorts of music. I don't have really a specific kind, but I don't know. Music just takes me back to a place of just happiness. In fact, I have some headphones that I nicknamed my happy place. So every time I listen to music, these are not it, but I use my happy place to listen to them. I also spend a lot of time just learning and reading as much as I can. I just love to learn about everything, especially dealing with personal leadership and personal growth, inspiration, motivation. I love to collect quotes. I love, and of course, all of my spare time also goes to seeing what else I can do to spread this movement on kindness. So whether it's preparing for the next rally, or seeing what else I'm going to do, I want to eventually write a book. So that's the next thing that I'm focused on.
Wow, fantastic. So now book got me really excited. And I was also wanting to check with you, what's some of those stories that, possibly that you heard in the rallies, or people share it with you that really made an impact.
Oh my gosh, there are so many. I mean, I think I've had over 70, 80 people so far share their stories, and I have heard everything that you can think of. One, there's just so many that made an impact, but one that absolutely just I could not believe I was hearing was about an individual that was walking down the street, and he was attacked by a gang of other people.
Mhm.
They beat him up with this bat, to the point where he lost the ability to move. Um, and it took him many, 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 many months. In fact, I think over a year to get back to being able to function. And he was
Mhm.
telling me like the whole story, telling us the whole story, and even from the moment that he got attacked to all the way to the moment of recovering and physical therapy and surgeries and all of that. And I just And the fact that he's still here telling the story of resilience, it makes you realize and put things into perspective that no matter what you're handed, if you have the perseverance and the inner courage and strength to keep going, in this case, he was fighting for his life. I mean, it's up to you. No one else is going to fight for you. So it was truly amazing. Then I've heard other stories of, some are extremely hard, like physical abuse, emotional abuse, others about bullying, some about overcoming addictions, some about being abandoned by parents. It's mental health. I mean, there's just changing careers, doing something different in your life, getting divorced. It's just so many things, but all of these were just basically changes that you make or changes that you may have never realized that life hands you in a specific situation. And it's in the end all up to your mindset of how you're going to tackle that change. If you're going to um, accept it and give up, or are you going to have a mindset of, okay, this is what I'm given. I'm not necessarily stuck. I always have a choice of how I'm going to show up, and I choose to persevere. I choose to do this about it. So it's been incredible. It's been incredible.
Wow. Yeah, I can just like understand that, like in a second you traverse through all of those stories. And then said, yeah, so much has happened, so much of resilience, so much of experiences. So how has all of this like impacted you or changed you? Like listening to that, like doing the rallies, the 15 minutes of kindness.
Every single person out there that you see every single day, whether you're buying some groceries, food, you're going to school, or you're taking a walk, all these strangers, besides your family members and your friends, but all of these what you call strangers, every single person, believe it or not, has gone through something. I am so confident that everyone has gone through something in varying degrees. And we must remember that as we approach people. Some people, especially the ones that we think have it all together, maybe they're the ones that need the most help. Some people that are always smiling, maybe when they go home, they're the loneliest. Every single person has a story. So we must continue to treat everyone that we meet every single day with compassion, because those that may not appear as nice in person or do things that, in fact, we consider not something that we would ever do, that's just bad. Maybe they just grew up in an experience or have are going through a specific situation or have a specific illness. We don't know, but I don't know. It just really made me think that we just need to treat everyone with compassion, because we don't know what they have gone through or what they are currently going through.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And maybe if I think we don't even we only know if somebody tells us, and if they don't, then uh, that's a history we never know existed. And
Right.
even with us, somebody else may think that, hey, everything's going great, or think they don't know, because we too are evolving in the same place, and somewhere I am also discovering my own space through my own experiences, and even I don't know what's going to come. Uh, and I may be a different person 2 months from now
Exactly.
because of an experience. So, and then somewhere out there, I am a little jealous that you get to hear all of these stories through these rallies. Yeah, and then hopefully sometime, if at all, I am in the US or you are in India doing something like this, I'd love to meet you in person.
That'd be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. But we are good virtually as well. You joined me on a morning. and shared all of your stories. But maybe I have one final question or one final trigger. So, what makes you laugh?
What makes me laugh?
Except your dogs, but yeah.
Except my dogs? Oh, I can't say my dogs. Ah, um, I love authenticity. I love when people are just human and are unapologetic about it. Stop being trying so hard to be perfect. I mean, I just love seeing those human moments in people when even when they're not trying to be funny and they just make me smile or laugh.
Yes.
Uh, and don't apologize for it. That's I love that.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, absolutely. And I think yeah, so humanness and then all the adventures of being authentic, being true to yourself, I think that offers a lot of humor in itself. So, uh,
Right.
like just before our call, I had put my LinkedIn saying I'm just another coach. So my name had been changed from Sunil to I'm just another good coach. And somebody said, that's unprofessional. But I was like, no, that's the funniest thing I've done on LinkedIn. Who changes their name? I was surprised that the name change was even possible, and people were tagging just another good coach, Sunil. So it was very funny for me. And so these simple things, I think, if you're able to sort of work with that through the day, then yeah, then you have no need for anything extra to come to your life and say, then I'm happy, then I'm this. There are
Exactly.
no things like that. But
Agree.
yeah, so and I just I'd said we look at 30 minutes, and our 30 minutes is just vanished just like that, and I don't think we've even
Wow.
gotten started.
Wow.
Yes. So thanks, Andrea, for your time and agreeing for this space. The idea was to get people like you, people who have experienced kindness, you've been a part of other people's lives and joyous moments and tough moments as well. And so bring a spectrum of people and their experiences and their stories, but more people get to share and more people get inspired. And I think you are the perfect cog in the wheel to get this to the next space. A first international guest in this space. Truly
Oh,
enjoy.
seriously? Wow.
Yeah, I've
Honored.
had somebody from Hong Kong, but she's an Indian origin, the first one we did. But then, somebody truly from another space and a completely different experience. Are you the first?
Truly honored. Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun,
Absolutely.
Sunil.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I don't know if I can ask you to say, what are the closing sentences, because I feel, there are many podcasts left with with you and I. But yeah, maybe if you were to give a message to women who are listening to this, maybe possibly, what would that be?
My message right now is something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, and it's that about the power of choice. Every single day, every single moment of your day, you have a choice of how you're going to show up and how you're going to react. Remember that. Don't let a specific situation, person, illness, whatever comes your way, circumstance, dictate how you're going to feel and dictate how the rest of your day or even year or even life will go. You have the power to choose how you're going to show up, how you're going to think, how you're going to thrive. So remember that. It's you. You're in the driver's seat.
Wow. I think that's a fantastic space for us to, reflect on this and pause this podcast and, bring more stories from Andrea's side the next time.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Sunil.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you so much. Much blessed. Thank you.